let's get down to nuts and bolts, but don't be afraid, relax, and I will try to show you how technology can also be beautiful and useful, especially for our expo event, for visitors and for the participating countries. So I will talk about technology, operations for the Smart City, which is a platform for our exhibition. We think that today, but especially in 2015, technology can be so strong, so useful, so advanced, that we can use it to facilitate as much as possible the comprehension, the discussion of this very, very important thing, which is sustainable feeding, sustainability, nutrition. We have also an opportunity because the site, as you have seen yesterday with the presentation of the master plan, is actually a small village with a number of streets, pavilions, buildings, service areas, restaurants, bars, and as a consequence, we think that our visitors will be citizens, will be citizen experiences the comprehension and discussion of the theme. Let's see this little video, which is giving at the end a little surprise, which is a character who will enjoy the journey for showing how we can use technology for facilitating the theme. And this is Mary. Mary will be the character of our journey. Mary will show how we can use the smart city for solving Q's problem, for providing edutainment, for providing the extension of the theme to not only the 20 million people who are forecast for the physical visit, but also to hundreds of millions of people around the world. We hope 1 billion people. And that's the purpose of the Smart City. The concept is we have the expo content, which is the theme, sustainable feeding, sustainability. This will be presented through a platform, which is the Smart City. The Smart City contains services of every kind, we will see in a moment. And these services will be implemented through a very big number of enabling technologies, both for the participating countries and for the visitors. We'll see at the end of the presentation how many enabling technologies we will need to implement the platform. Now, since Mary is not only a visitor, but she is a citizen of Expo, we have to manage her life in 3 fundamental moments. We call 3 phases. Before the visit, Shelley Sandwell has already mentioned this thing. Before the visit, during the visit, and the Cyber Expo. Before the visit is the first moment. It is made of these 5 steps. The first is attract and engage. The second is the visitor profiling, because we have to understand who is Mary. Her education, her life, her interests, not only for Expo, but in general. And according to that, we will be capable of proposing to Mary a plan, a visit, with several alternatives according to her interests. And in order to facilitate her life before and during the visit, we also provide her with an innovative device. We call it the Smart Electronic Ticket. And you will see this, we will mention this device several times, because according to us is one of the main components facilitating the implementation and the management of the visit, the Smart Electronic Ticket. And finally, we have to support Mary when she travels from home to Milan. In case you decide, we have convinced Mary to leave home to come to Milan. let's see the first step, attract and engage Mary. First of all, Mary is living somewhere. We have to distribute in her city, streets or airports or railway station, several places, devices and solutions for attracting her attention. And this type of attraction has to be non-intrusive, has to be intriguing. For example, here we have an image showing Mary using her smartphone to connect with the QR code. We will see a little video in a moment. But we have also to use several channels for advertising and convincing to think about Expo, to get information about Expo in several potential locations. But we have also to engage Mary in the most advanced social networking solutions, games, prizes, which is now very, very effective and engaging for attracting people. And now we have this example. Mary is just walking in the street. She is attracted by this digital board with the QR code. She can use her smartphone, take a picture of the QR code, and at that very moment we will, because she has decided, we will download information on the smartphone of Mary. And that is the initial step for giving information and attraction and engagement of Mary. The second step, as I said, is the understanding of visitor profile and planning of a visit. And now we have the discussion about one of the main problem objectives that we have, which is the reduction as much as possible of queues and bottlenecks. This is very important because when we plan a possible visit to Mary, we have to cross-check our proposal of visits to Mary with the other thousands of possible visits of the other visitors or citizens coming to the site on the very same day. And of course, if we don't organize, we don't cross-check and compare the proposed plans and interests, this is a mistake. It's a mistake because we are causing possible problems and queues. And that's the fundamental approach. Comparison of possible visits, planned visits. And then, of course, we have started analyzing where are the potential problems. In this chart, you see that we have three main areas where we have potential problems of queuing. The first, of course, is the access to the city of Milan. Airport, the car usage, the train transportation. At the airport, of course, we have problems at arrivals for baggage, for custom check. We have problems at departure for check-in, gates. For cars, we have problems for highways, parking, tickets of parking, and the same for the train station. Then, when our customer, our visitor, our citizen is in Milan, he has to live in Milan. So we have, together with the institution and the municipality of Milan, we have to manage in a very advanced way public transportation, parking for cars, accommodations, hotels, restaurants. And finally, the third area of potential problems is the site itself, of course. Here, since it is really a city, it's a small city, here we have a huge number of potential problems. Of course, ticketing, we will see that we will have technical solutions in order to anticipate the problems of queuing for ticketing. The access to gates, when our people leave the subway or the train for entering the site, and then of course the access to the pavilions, the access to the services, the restaurants, the performance center, and so on. For each of these potential points, problems, we have now the analysis of solutions. For example, public transportation. we will develop solutions for the so-called connected mobility in order to suggest dedicated transportation lines and, of course, the possible alternatives. Another example is train station. Again, we will develop, of course, also in cooperations with the companies in charge of train transportation, the mobile applications for selecting the best solutions for the train transport. Another point, of course, is pavilions. Time slot booking for the entrant to the stand, continuous overbooking monitoring via interactive smart applications, and the smart application for the smartphone is a very important tool for keeping a continuous contact between people and the pavilion people and the organization. But this is just three very little examples. We have, for each of the boxes that you have seen in the chart, we have a number of solutions. One of the very important devices that I had mentioned before is the smart electronic ticket, which is also very, very important for solving queues. This device can have many functionalities. Fundamentally, dynamic online booking, secure identification. We will see that it's very important that we identify, for security reasons, who is our visitor. Rerouting suggestions, insights for managing queues, for changing adaptively the proposal of the program of visit according to what's happening there. And of course, sensor communications, because this device is capable of having in the background a continuous interaction with devices, sensors, boards, digital signage, in order to give suggestions and indication to the visitor. We can implement the smart electronic ticket in three main solutions. The first is what we call the smart app. It's a smart application for smartphone. In 2015, a lot of people we have a smartphone. The forecast for the market penetration of smartphone in 2015 is more than 50% of people will have a smartphone. And we will leverage on that. Those smartphones can see in order to give augmented reality, as you will see in a moment, can interact with the sensors, can learn what you like, can know what you want, can discover things around you, can filter things that you don't want, and of course can discover the local content, discover what the pavilions are going to present. A useful way of implementing this is also through the so-called smart SIM card. The smart SIM card is a possibility of implementing many of these functionalities of solution one in the SIM card that we developed by our partner for telecommunication. In particular, we know that we have this important partnership with Telecom Italia. There is an opportunity for Telecom Italia and also other operators to develop the smart SIM card used in the telephone as a smart electronic ticket. The other solution is to use an RFID, a smart RFID, which is a little chipset which is embedded in gadgets like pins, like collars, like bracelets, like watches. Let's see, for example, the creation of the smart app, the smart electronic tickets. Here, Mary at home take a picture of herself. This is important because she is now creating the information useful for us for her identification when she will enter the site. So she has created the information. Now, afterwards, she can receive or retrieve the smart electronic ticket, in this case just a PIN, and she will use that PIN or the smart app everywhere in the site. The other point is then how we support Mary for going to home to the site. Mary has decided to use, for example, her car, and we have the possibility through the smart electronic ticket, the smart card, the smart app, to drive Mary from, for example, Rome to Milan, in this case,